Hello everybody, I'm back with another video for you today. I've been absent for a while, I'm sorry about that, but I am now back. With the virus being a thing with everyone on lockdown, I figure it's a good time now to start streaming regularly again and doing YouTube as well. The tournament I was preparing for, World Masters, was cancelled, so that frees up a lot of time for me to do more content like I was in the old days, a while ago. So I'll definitely be doing that. And I do have a cool deck for you today. Which is a monster deck, and it's playing Force of Nature, so old school, boost a unit in your hand by 8. I wanted to make Force of Nature onto Villain Tretamurth, which is this card. I wanted to make that a thing that worked in monsters, and I had middling success with it. It wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible either. Definitely very good in some matchups, but I figure this card doesn't really work with Ike, which I also wanted to play, because dragons, you want to play Ike. There's quite a lot of tool units around recently, but if you play 2 tool punish units, it just becomes a bit too much, a bit too clunky most of the time. So I figured I'd scale it back and instead play Keltulis. That's kind of the main dragon of the deck. Gets pulled with Matter, and then he's in your hand for the Ike, so it's kind of a nice little synergy there. And quite interestingly, you do have some anti-synergy in the deck, because this deck also plays Lava. I'll put a deck code in the description, by the way, so don't worry about that if you want to check it out yourself. But yeah, we have Lava, which obviously spawned 2 copies of this guy, so that's kind of anti-synergistic with Keltulis, right? So really, with this deck, the aim is to try to split up these 2 different win conditions in a way. You want to use Lavas in your Larvae in a round where you're not playing the Keltulis and vice versa. So, you can use Keltulis as maybe a finisher in round 3, a short round 3 kind of finisher potentially, or he's just good against some particular decks which, spawn a lot of units. I'm thinking like elves maybe, for example. Otherwise, maybe you drop him earlier in the game, or you can just play him as a big chunky unit. It's not perfect, it's not ideal, but he does, as I say, give you that Ike enabler, which is quite important, and he can just be pretty decent value a lot of the time. And I think he's a good substitute for the Villain Tretamurth, which I was running, which ended up just being a bit too, clunky, as I said. So yeah, that's kind of the theme of the deck. It's dragons. We have Merkdebracker, which I think is actually quite a decent card in monsters. It gives you a little bit of control. You can remove the Syndicate Defender as well, which is a nice little bonus. Just a bit of control, with Adder, with Merkdebracker, with 1 Drowner, and with Wild Hunt Warriors and Protoflader. You actually do have a lot of little bits of damage to kind of throw out there. And if you also have a Tool Punish with the Ike, then you can kind of cover a lot of the bases and, deal with a lot of stuff. Aguara I've also thrown in there because you can lock your own dudes. You can lock Egon, you can lock Goliath. It's kind of cheeky if the opponent's trying to kill those guys. You can remove the negative effects that they have. And also you can unlock things if they get locked. You can unlock your beast, for example, or, a thriving unit. And you can even use it on the opponent's stuff, obviously, to deal with things like Nilfgaard, potentially Damien, Stefan, etc. Now, you could definitely take out Aguara and put in Caretaker if you value Purify more. That is something you could think about. There's not really a good way to deal with Defender in this deck right now. And simply not running the Purify is just because I figure that not that many decks are playing Defender that I've been running into. Elves doesn't run it, Skellige usually doesn't, Monsters often doesn't, so there's quite a few decks that don't, and the decks that do, you can maybe try to bleed it out from them, but just be aware that you don't have a good Defender answer in this deck right now. So change that if you want, otherwise don't. The 5p cards are quite flexible as well. You could play Bomb Heaver, for example, if you want to deal with artifacts. If you see a lot of those, you could play more Drowners. You could even play something like, I don't know, these guys, the Kikimor Worker, if you want another Thrive body. That's an option. But yeah, just decent kind of 5 techs. I've also played around with Necromancy. I'll probably do some kind of video with Necromancy and Lava at some point, because I wanted to try Gurnakora with Lava and just a ton of Thrive, just really go crazy with Thriving with Dandelion and Gascon and stuff. So I'll bring you some kind of Gurnakora deck in the coming days, I imagine, as well. I really am enjoying Monsters at the moment. I think they're a cool faction. They're very strong, actually, I think, and hopefully the gameplay can kind of showcase that. So let's jump into a game or two and see how the deck plays. Alright, we're going to be going up against Second Wind. Skellige lads. So in this version, I'm actually playing the Caretaker. I decided that Aguara probably not worth it, especially when there are defenders and such running around. So we're going to try it with Caretaker instead of Aguara, and I think that's probably the stronger deck list, so I'll show that one in the description. Right, let's get rid of Noon Wraith, don't really need 2 of those, and Wild Hunt Warrior, just good to keep your 1, 2, 3, 4 Thrive curve going and not really worry about playing 2 3s. We'll get rid of that. Hand is pretty good. We're going to try to kind of pressure and really bully the opponent. And he's starting with the Longship. Now if we had Ike, we could potentially... Ike and a Dragon would allow us to smash that down, but no worries. We can go with the Lava first instead. And then we can follow up with the Drowner, get the Thrive going. Lava has armor, so it's, you know, not really caring about this Longship. Delirium is a pain, because that does make our pushing potential in this round severely worse. But we're going to need to push, and we're going to need to try to win the round, so let's play the Drowner now. We can maybe go Egon. It's a bit scary playing him in this matchup because they do have stunning blows which just kind of kill him off. So we'll see how that goes. Definitely with second win, the way to win is just bleed. If you're able to bleed, I think you're in a good position to win. Let's try to get this Longship down in strength so that we can gain dominance and potentially play Protef later. I'm going to want to play this Cave Troll probably this round to protect stuff, because I can't really allow him just to get the kill on Eogun. Otherwise we're going to have to save it as you know, a later play, a reach play to push him out, I think, if we're not going to play him earlier. So I think it's time for that Cave Troll now. I don't mind committing it this round. I'll probably get Gremisted at some point in the game anyway. Playing it this round, there's a chance he doesn't have Gremist. There's a chance he can't answer it. There's also a chance he does and can. In that case, let's just keep going with some of these chillaxed cards. We can go with the Noon Wraith. Doesn't really matter too much if he kills it. And I think we're going to have to play Egon as a reach play at this point if we can afford to do that. Maybe Wild Hunt Warrior was slightly better there, actually. Definitely happy to get rid of that card. Yeah, it's annoying the lava got dealt with. If they didn't, then we'd pretty easily be winning this round and winning the game. Delirium definitely does help him here. Okay, he's going to kill the Wraith. So I think now we can go with the Warrior probably. If we need points, we can consider something else, but... Oh wow, he actually killed the Thrive unit. Fair enough. Fair enough. Let's try to kill this Gremist. I mean, it shouldn't really be relevant because we're not giving bleeding to anything anymore. But it's probably better than setting up a kill on anything else. Okay, next we can play Proto or Goliath. I think Goliath's probably a little less useful. Maybe that's not true. We're going to play one or the other. I guess Proto is also fine. We can get rid of that now. I don't think I want to kill this Gremist actually. It might be proper to kill a Crow in order to deny the second Druid, but I think it's maybe okay not to. Next we can maybe think about Goliath, we can maybe think about Egon. Realistically, we do want to push as far as we can here. We really want to win the round. We really want to push him round 2. It's typically going to be a good way to win the game. So let's play the Goliath now, I think. Or do we play Egon? Egon's probably going to die either way, so we maybe even consider not playing him and just holding on. Maybe we can make his life difficult here if his last card is Gideoneth, the scenario. Then it's possible that we can kind of make his life awkward by E-gunning with only 1 armor. He might not want to play his last card. Maybe he does, and then we can just eat with Osrel and get ahead anyway. And if not, well, Egon was going to be a bad card anyway in this game. Okay, good thing we played a little bit around that stuff. Let's go with the Egon then. We'll see what the opponent's got going on. Most likely they can take it. We're just really hoping this is a valuable card that he doesn't want to play. Maybe the scenario, that would be really good. Or a matter or something that gets him the scenario. I mean, I guess matter would be fine for him to play. Oh, dead Freya, fine. Skellige's, yeah, that's the problem here for them, right? They're not going to be able to play most of, you know, they're not going to be able to play some of their cards, and then we can just kind of clean up and get the win on even if we get red coin. But really just important to win round 1. Now we have the potential to bleed. Obviously it's a bit worse if we don't win on even, but you still want to bleed these guys and make sure that scenario isn't really activated. So we can leader. We probably want to save that for the next round. Don't really want to use it here. And ADC is pulling Caltullus right now, which is not a bad thing. Let's get rid of these bronzes. I don't think we need those right now. I think we can open with Caretaker. There's not really anything we need to purify in this matchup. They usually don't play. What's it called? It's suddenly getting dark. Let me turn the light on. They don't play defender, so usually I find to just drop the Caretaker here. Okay, Plumard is fine as well. We just want to make it so he has to play a scenario or leader, and if he has to play one of those, then we're kind of winning. That's really how to beat Skellige right now, I think. Just push, 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 bleed, bleed, bleed. And you know, if we were blood sent, then our leader would be a bit more awkward in this kind of situation, right? Obviously we can't use Force of Nature right now because I have ADC, and he might spot that, but really the point still stands. This is very much better than blood sent in a 3-card round, for example. And you don't have that Oriana kind of clunking up your hand. That's kind of the main reason that I'm happy to play the leader. Just more point slam on already point slam faction, right? So he is actually going to commit the leader. And this might make life really just horribly awkward for him. Because I can play my Caltullus now and get ahead. And it is going to kill a unit as well because he swarmed the board a bit. And that's just game over. If he plays his last card, Caltullus is just going to kill the last unit. So his card needs to be very big, and obviously it's scenario. So we just take the win. Oh wait, I'm sorry about that. I was wrong. The Caltullus would not kill because it's at the end of my turn. Silly me, silly me. But definitely worth playing it there. I guess I should have calculated whether it was enough and done some maths and stuff, but probably always good to get the scenario out there, right? Alright, let's jump into another game and see how we do a second time round. Jumping into game number 2, we have Syndicate as the opponent. Definitely red coin is favouring us heavily, and you might find that you struggle on blue a bit if you do play this yourself. You end up overcommitting with the lava and stuff, but if you're able to play lava round 1, just push with bad cards or go all in and win on even, like as happened last game, then you're usually just in a great spot. Let's get rid of a Noonwraith and then a Brux. As I usually say, I mean honestly Brux is probably more useful than Warrior in this particular round. Maybe not. It's good to have a toolbox of kind of units to use, right? Also, since we're on red, we can think about using Caltullus round 1. Because when the opponent's playing first in a round, your Caltullus can find more value. You've got to be very careful with Caltullus though. He can kind of make life bad for you, especially when you have lava. But okay, I mean, this seems like the Caltullus value to me. I don't know if we're on the same page, guys, but I think I'm going to hold on to lava for the moment, see how he deals with my Caltullus. Obviously he can poison it, which is a bit annoying, but I think I just play it because I get this value on the Seductress. It's like playing a 9 that also kills a lady, which I think is pretty good for me. It's an unusual opening, but it's quite cute. So here come the poisons. Unfortunate, but is the way of it. So now if we play a card, we kind of get screwed by the Caltullus. So I guess we can just kind of relax. Probably play nothing. Probably just wait. So I guess that ends up not being too great for us. We could also just play Warrior. I guess it's worth it, right? It's better than discarding. Just to deal 3 damage. It's not too bad for us, actually. Still make a 3-point play. It does mean our lava's kind of slowed down a lot. So I'm not sure if this was worth it in the end. Maybe it was better to save this for a different point. But that was Seductress, so I don't think we're in a bad position necessarily here. And that's some poison that's gone and not going on one of our other dudes. We have Caretaker to deal with poison later. I think we have all the answers to deal with stuff here. We just need to now win round 1. It might require me to play both lava, which kind of isn't ideal. We'll see. He might get a bit spooked and leave the round prematurely. We also have enabled our Osrel, which is a good thing. We didn't have any other target. You could definitely think about playing some like no unit cards. The thing is, I just really love getting the value out of lava. He's actually going to poison lava, which is kind of a bold move. So we could get ahead with Caretaker. Not sure it's needed. But like the question is, can we really realistically win on even here? That's really the question. I think I'm just going to play Bruxa and relax a bit. And not overcommit, not play lava, not play Caretaker, just relax. If he wants to poison this, then, you know, we think about going in, because poison's quite a weak card, right?
Nose, mouth, any hole will do.
Okay. So he does go in a bit. In that case, I think I'm happy just to play a Noon Wraith. It does get us ahead. And now he's just going to have a bit of a hard time because he's like behind in points and I have engines on the board. He does have coins, but I can now deal with any further poison. Obviously, he probably doesn't have any at this point. It might have been good to just Caretaker there, to be honest with you. And just really pressure that win on even, make one of his poison cards bad. And there's going to be Uold coming out. Going to spend some of the money. Interesting. We can, funnily enough, still get ahead with Cave Troll, so I think I'm going to throw that out. Yeah, poison's kind of all gone at this point. I do want to hold on to Caretaker, but I can play it this round if I need to. Merc Tobacco is an arguable play, but I want to make his coins very bad. Like if he gains coins, he can't really use them right now. Unless he plays Hammond, I guess. So that does make our Caretaker kind of valuable. I think I'll go for it now. Just to get some value from it and try to push this win on even. The thing with monsters is if your opponent doesn't respect the points and plays deep into the round, the Thrive units will really get you a lot of value. Like this lava, for example. He had to poison one, so you know this lava's traded effectively with 2 of his cards. So he's kind of like playing with 1 less card in this round. So we now get Madame Louisa. That's kind of a big card. You know, possibly we want to see the next one, but we do have to commit quite a good thing here to see it. So I'm thinking maybe we just take the pass. You know, this Louisa Savola combo is already split apart. We still have lava. Uold is gone. Probably in a reasonable spot to just win, I think. If we take the pass here, he doesn't have any carryover. He can't develop any carryover. So I think that we're going to go to the long round and see how we fare. Usually, I think your long round is pretty okay with this deck. And against Syndicate, as long as we just split up some of their resources, and we've done that here. We could have gone in with Merc Tobacco. The risk then is that, number 1, my Ike can be dead because I've used both dragons. And number 2, I mean, Ike might still be dead, to be honest. We'll see. I'm actually going to hold on to this hand, I think. It's pretty fine. I can play the Plumard on the pass, and then all the rest of my cards are just solid, good cards. The other reason is, you know, the Savola play gets him really far ahead. Like, I'm then going to have to play another really good card to stay in it, and then I've got Lava as a dead card, so probably I'm not really gaining anything by playing another card in round 1. And definitely the line I took with Keltullus might have been, you know, not optimal. Might have just been better to play double Lava and just push. But I did what I did. And here we are in round 3 now. Pretty good hand. I could ask for better. The Ike is a little bit risky, but it will probably find value at some stage, assuming he uses Savola or gets a big spender up. So I'm going to hold on to this. It should be okay. There's a little bit of risk whenever you're playing the Ike. You've got to be careful. We're going to have to be careful because obviously Merc Tobacco on the defender is going to be necessary, but we also don't want to, you know, play it and brick the Ike, so we might just have to Force of Nature onto Ike to keep him alive. That's maybe the line that we'll take. We'll see how it goes though. Start with the lava. Got the Beast. Got some long round cards here. We can deal with the Seductress potentially, unless we want to Ike that. We'll have to make that decision. That might be the Ike target if he has Passiflora. It's actually going to play Imke, that's interesting. Alright, I think I kind of have to deal with that in some way. Might be very difficult to, though. I guess for now we'll just play the Beast. It does just die, so that kind of is a shame, but I don't think there's much I can do about it. I think it's going to die one way or another. And at least now he can't Philippa it very easily. I guess he can actually if he goes Blood Money and then Philippa. But if he does Philippa, we get Ike. So it's kind of swings and roundabouts. Is that the saying? I don't know. Definitely MK's a bit scary if we leave it alive, but I'm also not that worried if, you know, depends how things go here. Looks like he is going to go for that Philippa option, possibly. Okay. So I'm a bit worried about dominance now. Dominance becomes a bit of an issue, and I do want to deal with this. I do want to deal with this MK. All right, let's have a think. We kind of ran out of control options from him. He can't really do much more other than poison, and even that's been kind of used up a lot. Let's play E-Gun now, I think. Get that on the board with some armor. We could also just have tried to brick his beast a bit by playing low to the ground, but then I don't have dominance and things get really weird. So I think we're just going to have to say, you know what, MK gets pretty decent value here. It gets pretty incredible value, but not too much I can do about it. Do not have a Drowner. And yeah, we're going to have to Merc Bracket this, there's no real way. So we're just letting MK live, which isn't a great feeling. It's not a great feeling, but we can probably survive it. We'll see how it goes. He's kind of lacking good cards. I'm not sure the Beast play was good. That did give him a good Philippa. Yeah, the MK really hurts because we don't want to have a Drown around 3 in case he doesn't have MK right. It's going to get him a ton of value. But we'll see. Maybe we can kill Spenders. Maybe we can waste his coins a bit. Or maybe he's going to have Soul and he's going to go crazy. It's also possible. Okay, let's think. So we probably want to play this Adder now, right? It's a bit concerning because I'd quite like to use it as a way to kill a Spender, because he might be greedy, and honestly that's probably the way we win at this point, given the current situation. So maybe we sacrifice the 1 point on that Thrive and just, you know, go for the win in another way. Let's just play Goliath for now. And then maybe Ike next. Maybe not Ike next, we'll see. This has enough coins to deal with Ike now with Muriel, so that's a bit sketchy. Okay. Yeah, keep it at 4. Good. Yes, very good. He'll probably have more Spenders, to be honest, right? He'll have Savola and stuff, so it's not even a huge deal if we're able to kill that. Just a bit sad because that's the kind of win con I was going for. I was aiming for. Okay, let's play another big boy. We're quite far behind. The MK value is just too much to handle, and unfortunately she can do that in some cases. I think the ultimate decision here that went wrong was how we played round 1. We'll see if it ends up being alright. There's going to be poison on Goliath, okay. This is now Ike time, isn't it? I mean, Ike is a pretty huge swing, but if he has poison, I don't know if it's a big enough swing, to be honest. He might even have dominance now as well, which is pretty hilarious. It might be the case that he doesn't have another poison, to be honest. He did use quite a lot of them already. He has one more in his deck and he's already used Bank, so it's kind of unlikely he has another poison, to be honest. But we'll see. We'll see. If he doesn't have another poison, we might be fine. We might be fine. We might also not be fine. There's a lot of coins still to come out, to flow out. And there's Savola. Interestingly, he doesn't really gain any more on souls, so that's kind of bad for him. And we now have 8 to finish the game off with. Or 9, sorry. My maths is off. So do we actually win this? I wonder what his last card is if he chose the Savola there. It's a very weird play, because he could have just gained more coins, potentially. Maybe it's a coin-gaining card like Pickpocket. Yeah, I guess it is. So we actually take the win there. So I guess that just shows everything can kind of go wrong, and you can still pull out a win with the Ike and the magic. But yeah, definitely the round 1. Bit shaky with the Keltor this play. Maybe should have played it a bit differently. That's something you maybe have to experiment with yourself if you do play the deck. But yeah, not the best deck in the world. Definitely a lot of close games, but I find it quite fun. And yeah, a good way to kind of jump back in to the deck building and the monsters and whatnot. So hope you enjoy the video, guys. I will be making more in the coming days. Maybe not daily, but stay tuned. That being said, stay safe out there. Don't get the virus if you can, and wash your hands, stay inside, etc. I'm sure you've heard it before, but hope you're all healthy and well, guys. And yeah, have a good one. I'll see you next time. Bye.